The lie you've been living, you've been lied to by the world, by your friends, by the fake self-help noise online. But worst of all, you've been lied to by yourself. You walk around as if time owes you patience, as if success is a birthright, as if somehow, just somehow, if you keep wishing hard enough, life will bend to your comfort. But life is not a wish-granting machine. It is a battlefield, and most people are getting slaughtered in their own minds before the fight even starts. The lie that you're fine just the way you are, that your trauma excuses your laziness, that you deserve self-love before self-respect, that waiting is strategy, that being busy is the same as being productive, that healing means sitting still and doing nothing. That's not healing, that's hiding. And you've been hiding for way too long. Your mind, that place inside your skull you pretend is under control, is the exact prison keeping you average. It feeds you stories every single day. Take it easy today, you need rest. Don't start that project yet, you're not ready. You're not built like those winners, you're different. Different? No, you're addicted to excuses. That's it. That's the whole diagnosis. Look around, look close. 92% of people you know, they will die with their best ideas still trapped inside them. They will never write the book. They will never start the business. They will never stand on stage. They will never fight for their name. And if that statistic doesn't terrify you, it's because you're still under the illusion. You still think life will just happen. You still think dreams work without blood. Let me tell you something nobody has told you before. The version of you that's been walking around afraid of risk, craving approval, addicted to distraction, that version must die. Not tomorrow, today. Because here's the cruel truth. The world only starts to care once you've stopped asking it to. Until you build something worth noticing. The world doesn't care who you are, how you feel, or how many affirmations you chant in the mirror every morning. It only cares about what you've done, what you've endured, what you've bled for. And don't get it twisted. Your life is not hard because you're unlucky. It's hard because you haven't trained for it. You're not a warrior. You're a spectator. And spectators get slaughtered in a world built by gladiators. You wake up, check your phone, scroll past greatness, and convince yourself you're doing fine. You're not fine. You're numb. You're drifting in a fog of mediocrity, held hostage by comfort and paralyzed by the fear of discomfort. And here's the brutal paradox. The pain you avoid is the very fire that would forge your future. The failure you fear is the door you must kick down to finally start living. Every great man you admire, every powerful woman you look up to, they all walked through hell, but they didn't walk out of it. They became it. They became the storm. They built strength in silence and success in solitude. So here's a question you need to face like a man, like a woman, like a soul that has had enough of the lies. Are you ready to finally kill who you've been? Are you ready to stop worshiping your potential and start making it bleed? Are you ready to face the truth that your life is exactly where it is because of what you've tolerated? Because until that switch flips, until you get angry enough, hurt enough, hungry enough to start moving like your life depends on it, you'll keep waking up in the same nightmare pretending it's a dream. You'll keep pretending that you're someone, but you're not. Not yet. You're a fraction of what you could be, and the mirror doesn't lie. Look at your life. Look at your bank account. Look at your body. Look at your discipline. Look at your fear. Look at your habits. Still think you're someone. Let me ask you this. If the world stopped tomorrow and judged you based only on your output, what would it say? Would it applaud your effort, or would it laugh at your comfort? Because comfort is the poison, and you've been sipping it like it's medicine. But guess what? That ends now. No more lies, no more hiding, no more waiting, no more someday. You've lived enough life pretending. It's time to go savage. It's time to go relentless. It's time to bury the weak self, the soft self, the scared self. Today is the funeral of who you were and the birth of who you must become. Your ego is your enemy. Let's rip the Band-Aid off. Your ego is killing you, not slowly, not subtly. It's butchering your potential every single day. Your ego is that voice whispering, I already know this. I'm better than, I don't need help. I deserve more. Ego blinds you to the truth. It's the barrier between where you are and where you know you could be. You see, ego doesn't just make you arrogant. It makes you fragile. You stop growing because you hate looking like a beginner. You stop learning because you're addicted to appearing smart. You stop asking questions because you're terrified of looking less. And here's the sick joke. While your ego plays defense, your life plays dead. You think you're elevating yourself by protecting your pride. No, you're cementing your place in the crowd of the forgotten. You don't need more pride. You need humility. The kind that makes you grind again like you're nothing. The kind that lets you say, teach me, show me. I'll do anything to rise. Look at every champion in any field, athletics, business, art, war. They all carry the same secret. They kill their ego before it kills their greatness. Because ego doesn't care about truth. It cares about control. It wants you to stay safe. Stay unchallenged. Stay in rooms where you're the smartest one. Because it fears being exposed. But growth doesn't live there. Growth lives in the room where you feel stupid. It lives in the gym where you're the weakest. It lives in the battlefield where you're the slowest. It lives where your ego screams for you to run, and you stay anyway. Your ego is the inner dictator that demands attention, validation, comfort. It tells you success should come quicker, that you're better than your results, that others had it easier. But ego never shows you the truth. You're not putting in the work. You're not studying at midnight while others sleep. You're not running toward rejection until it loses its power. You're not failing enough to grow. You're not suffering enough to be great. And maybe this hurts. Good. Because every time you let your ego speak louder than your discipline, you shrink. You become smaller than the life you were born to build. Your ego keeps score on irrelevant things. How many likes you got? How many followers you gained? Who clapped for you? Who watched your story? While real warriors, they're tracking different metrics. Did I get stronger today? Did I study harder today? Did I suffer with purpose today? The truth is, nobody's your enemy like you. Your ego is the leash keeping the beast inside you from breaking free. That hunger you had as a kid, when you were fearless, when you weren't afraid to look dumb, when you had nothing to prove, your ego buried it under performance, pride, and fake perfection. You know what's rare? Someone who's dangerous because they've built strength without ego. Someone who walks into every room knowing they are a student. Someone who says, I know nothing, but I'll learn everything. Because that mindset is unbeatable. You can't kill someone who doesn't care about looking perfect. You can't outlast someone who's not afraid of starting from scratch. You can't outwork someone who's not chasing applause, just truth. Your ego will say you've earned rest. You're above that task. Don't lower yourself. But success whispers, do it anyway. Carry the weight. Out-humble, out-grind, outgrow everyone. So here's your moment of war. Kill your ego or kill your progress, but you don't get both. You can't grow and protect your pride at the same time. You can either look successful or become dangerous in silence. Choose wisely. Reality doesn't care about your feelings. You think life is unfair? You're right, but not in the way you think. Life isn't unfair because it's out to get you. Life is unfair because it doesn't care about you, me, or anyone. It doesn't care how tired you are. It doesn't care about your childhood. It doesn't care how hard your day was. It doesn't care if you're depressed, anxious, broken, or broke. Reality is blind, brutal, and unbothered, and that's your greatest opportunity, because once you understand that life doesn't hand out pity points, once you accept that no one is coming to rescue you, you stop waiting, you stop complaining, you stop crying about things that will never change, and you start building. The world won't rearrange itself to suit your mood. It won't adjust its chaos to your comfort zone. You either rise above it or it drowns you in it. Do you know what successful people do differently? They don't wait to feel right before acting. They act regardless of how they feel. While you're waiting to be in the mood, they're working. While you're binging another episode because you deserve it, they're sharpening their craft. While you're asking, why me? They're asking, what's next? Because reality rewards action, not emotion. You feel like quitting? Reality doesn't care. You feel misunderstood? Reality doesn't care. You feel like nobody supports you? Reality doesn't care. But guess what? It also doesn't stop you. That's the magic. Reality will crush the lazy, but it obeys the If you're willing to suffer, to endure, to stand up when no one's clapping, to keep going when your bones ache and your soul screams, then you become something reality can't ignore. But first, you have to stop being a victim, because victims spend their lives narrating their pain. Warriors, they use their pain as fuel. Victims say it's hard. Warriors say, good, that means it's worth it. Victims say it's not fair. Warriors say, then I'll earn more than I deserve. Victims say, I can't. Warriors say, then I must. You want to change your life? Start by burying this soft idea that your feelings are facts. They're not. They're weather. They come. They go. But purpose, that's permanent. Discipline, that's permanent. Decisions, those shape destiny. Here's a truth you've been avoiding. You will not always feel motivated. You will not always feel good. You will not always feel appreciated. But if you only act when you feel like it, you will die in the same place you were born, full of potential, surrounded by regret. You want peace? Earn it. You want freedom? Bleed for it. You want power? Starve for it. Because life doesn't hand out gifts. It hands out consequences. If you move, it rewards. If you stall, it punishes. Every second, every day. So stop negotiating with your emotions. Get out of your head, get into the arena, and fight like everything depends on it, because it does. Reality doesn't care about your feelings, but it respects your grind. No one is coming to save me. Say it again, louder, and don't just say it. Feel it. Let it burn into your bones. Let it break the last pieces of hope you've placed in the hands of others. Because here's the truth. No mentor is coming. No perfect opportunity is coming. No one's going to knock on your door and hand you the life you want. You've been waiting for the right moment, waiting for a sign, waiting for someone to discover your talent, to believe in your dream, to pick you off the floor and say, hey, I'll make everything okay. But that person, they don't exist. You keep looking to your parents to validate you, to your friends to support you, to society to notice you. You cry out for help in the form of scrolling, complaining, fantasizing. But the world is not your therapist, it's your test. And here's the ultimate test. Can you build yourself from nothing? Can you rise alone when no one claps? Can you show up when no one watches? Can you suffer in silence while everyone else is distracted? Can you look at the broken pieces of your life and say, this is on me, and I will fix it, alone? Because the minute you stop expecting a rescue is the minute you start designing your own redemption. Stop begging the world to care. Stop blaming others for your delay. Stop pointing fingers at life and start pointing them inward. If your life sucks, it's your fault. If you're broke, it's your fault. If you're lost, it's your fault. And until you say those words without excuses, your story won't change. This isn't about guilt. It's about ownership. Responsibility isn't a punishment. It's a superpower. Because the one who caused it is the only one who can correct it. You want to become unstoppable. Here's your first weapon, radical responsibility. You own your trauma. You own your laziness. You own your missed chances. You own your self-sabotage. You own every broken part of your story. And then, piece by bloody piece, you rebuild. You stop chasing motivation. You stop needing approval. You stop looking for shortcuts. And you start moving, walking, training, bleeding, one small win at a time, because no one is coming. The dream version of you is sitting in a future that only becomes real if you fight for it. The strong version of you is waiting, but you have to walk through hell to meet them. So walk, crawl if you must, bleed if you must, but do not sit there waiting. The world isn't short on opportunity. It's short on people with the guts to grab it. You want to change your life. Don't wait for someone to open a door. Kick it off the hinges. Burn the whole damn building if you have to, because no one is coming. No one owes you anything. But the good news, you don't need them. Everything you need, the hunger, the fire, the fight, it's inside you. You just forgot how to hear it over the noise. Your comfort zone is a coffin. Let's make one thing crystal clear. Your comfort zone is not your friend. It is not your safe space. It is not your peace. It is not your self-care. It is a slow, silent, velvet-lined coffin. Every time you choose comfort over growth, you bury a part of yourself. Every time you avoid discomfort, you dig your own grave an inch deeper. You think you're protecting yourself from pain, but what you're actually doing is hiding from life. And life doesn't wait for people hiding under blankets of excuses. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Everything you want lives on the other side of suffering. Growth hurts, discipline hurts, becoming unrecognizable to your old self hurts. But do you know what hurts more? Looking back in 5 years and realizing you chose ease over evolution, that you traded potential for pleasure, that you let who you are suffocate who you could have been. Look around you. Comfort zones are packed with people who once had fire in their eyes, dreamers who became drifters, warriors who turned into watchers, builders who started scrolling, napping, postponing, pausing, and eventually decaying, not physically but spiritually, mentally, purposefully, because this is how the comfort zone kills you, not with pain but with numbness, not with fire but with frictionless days that blur into nothing, not with a scream but with a whisper that says, take it easy, you've done enough, you deserve to relax. And here's the sick part. You believe it, even though you know you're made for more, even though your soul is starving for challenge, even though you lie in bed at night haunted by that voice that asks, is this it? Is this all you were born for? You feel empty, and that emptiness isn't from a lack of love. It's from a lack of struggle with purpose. Growth is supposed to feel like dying because part of you is the weak part, the scared part, the addicted, distracted, insecure, lazy part of you. It has to burn, and that burn happens outside your comfort zone. It happens when your legs shake but you keep running. When your heart breaks, but you keep building. When your mind screams quit, and you whisper back no. When you do one more rep, one more page, one more day. Success is not for the relaxed. It is for the relentless. Comfort may keep you safe, but greatness doesn't grow in safety. It grows in storms. It grows in 5 a.m. workouts, 1 a.m. study sessions, uncomfortable conversations, and ruthless routines. So let me ask you, how long will you stay in the coffin? How long will you keep pretending that good enough is good enough? How long will you betray your gift just to feel cozy? You're not tired. You're just unchallenged. You're not lost. You're just lazy. You're not stuck. You're just scared. So stand up, step out, suffer forward, because every second you sit still, the stronger your comfort zone becomes, and one day it will lock shut, and everything you could have been will die in silence. Discipline is your only freedom. Everyone wants freedom. Freedom of time, freedom of money, freedom to travel, to create, to breathe, but no one wants the price tag. They want to be free while sleeping in, while skipping the gym, while ignoring the hard conversations, while spending money they didn't earn and time they didn't schedule. Here's the brutal truth. Freedom is a byproduct of discipline. No discipline, no freedom, none. You will stay a prisoner to your impulses, your emotions, and your excuses. Discipline is not punishment. It is not restriction. It is the highest form of self-respect. It says, I care enough about my future to act right, even when I don't feel like it. It's what builds kings. It's what forges warriors. It's the silent force behind every world-class athlete, billionaire, author, and leader. You think they love waking up at 4 a.m.? You think they enjoy saying no to parties, sugar, Netflix, and easy days? No, they hate it, but they hate being average more, because they know what you're ignoring. Your feelings are liars. They whisper comfort. They beg for rest. They plead for escape and discipline. It disobeys every one of them. It stands up and says, I hear you, but I have work to do. Discipline isn't about grinding. It's about choosing structure over sabotage. It's showing up to train when your body says rest. It's writing one more page when your mind says scroll. It's holding your tongue in a fight because your future peace is more important than your current pride. You want to be unstoppable. Build a life so disciplined that it terrifies your weaker self. A routine so locked in that chaos can't touch you. A code so ruthless that mediocrity runs from you. Every missed rep, every skipped session, every delayed goal, it all adds up, not in loss, but in shame. The shame of knowing you could have been more. You don't get the dream life through hope. You get it through habit. Discipline is doing the thing, even after the motivation dies, even when no one claps, even when progress is invisible. You want the freedom to create art that moves the world. Build the discipline to sit and write when inspiration disappears. You want the freedom to live in abundance? Build the discipline to earn, save, invest, and delay pleasure. You want the freedom to command respect. Build the discipline to respect yourself first. Because undisciplined people don't live free. They live trapped. Trapped in cycles of regret, trapped in bodies they hate, trapped in bank accounts that scream you messed up, trapped in minds that know they're wasting time. Discipline is hard, but regret is hell. Choose your heart. If you want to rise, you will be hated. Not maybe, not sometimes, guaranteed. They will talk. They will mock. They will question your motives, your sanity, your every move. Who does he think he is? She's changed. He's obsessed. She's fake now. Good. Because when you step into your power, you threaten their comfort. And nothing triggers mediocrity more than someone escaping it. People don't hate you. They hate that you're proof they could have tried harder. You reflect everything they abandoned, their lost ambition, their buried dream, their surrendered potential. So when they hate you, that's a sign. It means you're no longer one of them. Look closely. They never hated you when you were average, when you slept in, when you made excuses, when you were soft, distracted, unthreatening. But the moment you chose a different path, the moment you said no more, the moment you stopped begging for validation, you became the enemy. Good. That means you're finally doing something right. Here's the harsh law of power. The crowd only loves you when you're beneath them or entertaining them. The second you rise above them, they want you back in the dirt. Because your growth exposes their weakness. Your discipline exposes their laziness. Your clarity exposes their confusion. Your courage exposes their cowardice. So let them gossip. Let them misjudge you. Let them call you cold, arrogant, obsessed. because obsession builds empires, because arrogance when earned through blood and scars becomes unshakable self-belief, because being cold to the world's noise is the only way to hear your inner fire. You're not here to be liked, you're here to be respected, and that respect often comes after a storm of hate. Every icon you admire was hated, mocked, laughed at, until they became so good, so undeniable, so unshakable, that even their haters had to bow. You think Elon Musk cared what Twitter said. You think Muhammad Ali cared what critics said. You think Steve Jobs, Kobe Bryant, Jordan, Eminem, any of them were losing sleep over opinions. No, they used hate as fuel. They made their critics part of their legend. They understood this one truth. If nobody hates you, you're not doing anything worth noticing. The lion does not lose sleep over the opinions of sheep, so stop shrinking for people who would never stretch for you. Stop softening your voice to soothe cowards. Stop dulling your edge just to blend in. Let them hate. Let them choke on your progress. Let them rage as you rise, because hate is just confirmation that you're no longer one of them and never will be again. You think pain is a problem? Pain is the compass. Pain is the teacher. Pain is the map. Every great human you admire was forged in pain. No pain, no power. No wounds, no wisdom, no darkness, no direction. You're taught to run from pain, distract from it, numb it, medicate it. But every time you escape pain, you escape your destiny. Pain shows up for a reason. It doesn't visit by accident. It's the signal that something's broken or something greater is about to be born. Let's get brutally real. Your pain has more purpose than your comfort ever will. You feel alone? That's pain showing you who you can live without. You feel tired. That's pain revealing you've been pouring into people or habits that don't pour back. You feel broke? That's pain screaming that your financial discipline is trash, and now's the time to rise. Pain doesn't mean stop. Pain means look deeper. Pain means dig. It is the alarm that says, wake up, this matters. But instead of listening to it, you drown it with distractions, with dopamine, with comfort food, comfort scrolling, comfort people. And what happens? The pain grows not in volume, but in consequence. Ignored pain becomes regret, and regret is pain's final form, a permanent scar that whispers, you could have done more, you could have been more. Don't you see? Pain is the gym of the soul. It's the resistance that makes you stronger. Every rep of hardship adds muscle to your will. Every punch to your heart builds armor around your purpose. Pain introduces you to your real self, not the filtered version, not the smiling mask, but the raw, unpolished, untouchable warrior beneath. If you've never bled for your dream, you don't deserve it yet. If you've never cried over your vision, it's not deep enough yet. If you've never been on your knees, screaming, why me? Then you haven't earned the right to scream, I did it. You want greatness? Walk through the fire, barefoot, eyes open. You want peace? Get comfortable in the war. You want success? Make pain your personal trainer.